Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Genshin Impact. So, mal kurz alle heilen und dann schauen wir mal hier. Ah, okay. Die sind jetzt schon... ähm... Ach, ich muss erst das... Ja. Ich habe keinen Bock, dieses Zwischenkapitel zu machen. Auch wenn mir das, dann genug verwobene Schicksale eigentlich einbringen sollte, damit ich nochmal ziehen kann. Für Navias Axt. Was auch immer ich da eben... Ach klar, die Mora. Ach, ich habe ja noch eine neue Nachricht bekommen. Ja, wow. Rein, raus, rein, raus. Love is destructive. Navia überlebt das Wasser des Urmeeres. Ja. Zum Glück. So. Ich bin mal gespannt, was da jetzt rauskommt. Vor allem, was Fruina gesagt hat. Oh. Und auch wenn ich schon letztes Mal gesagt habe, ich finde das eine richtig gute Idee, ältere oder Charaktere aus anderen Regionen auch endlich mal hier einzubinden. Das macht das alles so viel besser. Und vor allem auch organischer. Ne? Ich meine, klar will man die neuen Figuren einer Region rausstellen. Aber gerade Sumeru... Nee, ich finde das mit Mona eine gute Idee.
You're here, finally.
Oh?
Is something wrong? Monsieur Durvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
Oh?
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Ich möchte hier kurz eingreifen und sagen, Furina lügt zwar in diesem Moment, ja, ist ein kleiner Spoiler, aber im Grunde hat sie recht. Ich meine, genau darum drehte sich der gesamte Plot um Sumeru, dass Navia absolut keine Ahnung von gar nichts hat, weil sie nicht Rukkhadevata ist. Ich meine natürlich Nahida, nicht Navia, boah. Beziehungsweise Kusanali ist nicht Rukkhadevata. Wäre sie das, dann hätte sie in den 500 Jahren ja irgendwas gerissen und ihr Volk nicht absolut abandoned. Aber insgesamt, ja,
Forgive
sie...
me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it.
There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eunuchs, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
Ja, sie schien etwas auf dem Herzen zu haben. Also ich denke mal, ich habe doch nicht so viel gespoilert. Ich meine... Ich muss sagen, ich habe mich nicht so weit spoilern gelassen, dass ich jetzt komplett weiß, wie viel davon wirklich gelogen ist und wie viel nicht. Wir wissen aber ja, wir wissen ja leider schon, dass sie später ihren Rang als Archon verliert. Und ich bin mal gespannt. Also,
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
tja, möglicherweise reicht es nicht aus, sie nur zu befragen. Ja, aber was wollen wir machen? Wir müssen ihr den Ernst der Lage bewusst machen. Ich glaube, der ist ihr bewusst, nur...
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
Dann brauchen wir Unterstützung. Die Spina de Rusula fällt aber wahrscheinlich aus. Dann bleiben nur noch die Fatui.
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Ich glaube, ich weiß, wen ich fragen kann. Auf einem Boot im stillen Poussin. Doch die Spina de Rusula? Oder eben doch Alecchino? Also ich persönlich würde eher sagen, die Fatui.
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me? No.
Ja gut, sie hat da natürlich direkt den perfekten getroffen.
How about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something.
Ja.
As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Warum Applaus?
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
Okay. Keiner will anfangen. Also absolut keiner.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not
Yeah.
that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
Ich habe schon eine Menge Wildschweine gejagt. Oder einen Risen Keiler. Aber ja, Wildschweine in Gothic, Keiler in Risen. Ja gut, und dann so ein bisschen mit einem komischen No-Name, den keiner kennt, namens Geralt von Riva, aber wer kümmert sich um sowas?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So are we going hunting together?
Ich möchte kurz einwerfen, meine Methode wäre es, einen Lebendköder auszulegen und während Paimon dann verfolgt wird, würde ich einen Angriff aus dem Hinterhalt machen. Entweder mit einem Angriff aus dem Fall oder mit Bögen. Oder in Navias Fall mit der Artillerie. Aber, seien wir ehrlich, dann ist auch der Lebendköder nicht mehr ganz so lebend. Wobei, am allerwichtigsten ist eigentlich zu wissen, was man jagen will. Das ist... Wir werden sehen.
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Stimmt.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Ja. Ah, okay. Clarence Worte sind nur eine Metapher. Ihr werdet euer Vorhaben nicht als Jagd bezeichnen, denn darum geht es schließlich nicht. Und die Beziehung zwischen euch und Frühner ist bei weitem nicht so schlimm. Naja, es ist immer noch eine Jagd nach Antworten. Alles, was ihr tun müsst, ist, die Geheimnisse aufzudecken, die sie hütet. Der Versuch, die Geheimnisse einer Gottheit zu enthüllen, ist ein Akt der Respektlosigkeit. Aber das muss getan werden, um zu verhindern, dass Fontaine im Wasser versinkt, wie es in der Prophezeiung vorhergesagt wurde. Das ist nicht das erste Mal, dass wir das machen. Ich meine, gut, in Mondstadt hat uns Venti mehr oder weniger schnell einfach gerade herausgesagt, dass er in Wahrheit, sag schon, Barbados ist. In Liwe war das Ganze etwas komplizierter. Da sind wir im Grunde am Ende einfach drüber gestolpert, muss man leider sagen. In Inazuma haben wir es eigentlich schon versucht. Wir haben halt versucht, die Beweggründe von Raiden Shogun zu verstehen, ne? Damit wir sie überzeugen können. Ich meine, das war am Ende auch der einzige Weg, wie wir sie dann halt überzeugen konnten. Naja, das und dass wir unser Talk no Jutsu mit Yai Miko verbessert haben. In Sumeru, ja gut, wir haben es nicht wirklich versucht, uns wurde es einfach die ganze Zeit vorgekaut. Nein, es wurde uns wirklich die ganze Zeit vorgekaut, sowohl von Nahida als auch später von Scaramouche. Und dem großen Weisen. Wisst ihr noch seinen Namen? Azar. Ja. Also eigentlich nein, die Geheimnisse einer Gottheit aufzudecken, zu enthüllen. Das haben wir schon öfters gemacht. Oh, bei der unbekannten Gottheit versuchen wir das ja auch schon die ganze Zeit eigentlich. Seit Tag 1. Es gibt keine Jäger und auch keine Beute, aber es muss eine Falle geben. Ihr müsst eine Falle bauen. Ja doch. Wir sind die Jäger und die Beute ist halt die, sag schon, ist halt Furina bzw. Furinas Antworten, um genau zu sein. Die Bühne des Schicksals. Okay, wir haben momentan echt deutlich weniger. Okay, das ist immer noch so trostlos. Unschön. Also, ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, Poisson gefällt mir momentan nicht so sehr. Aber okay, ich denke, ich bin da nicht der Einzige, dem es so geht. Ach, jetzt sind sie da. Sind da wieder Gegner und so. Ja gut.
Ad Astra. Thank you for
Ja. Ich hab zu danken. Ah, okay, hier. Ups. Ja. Das ist echt enorm, wie viel weniger Schaden man durch einen Angriff aus dem Fall bekommt. Oh, hier schon. Treffen wir wieder.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening.
Ah, das Treffen hat so lange gedauert, dass ich jetzt hungrig bin.
Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh?
Ja.
Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
Naja, fühlst du dich nach dem Treffen sicherer, Paimon?
Well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you?
Vertrauenswürdigste Person in Teyvat? Was ist denn?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
Nein, habe ich nicht.
Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
What a strange conclusion, but also such an interesting one. You two make such a fascinating combo, and yet even you feel confused. As such, I couldn't resist but come by for some tea and a chat.
Wer bist du und was willst du von uns? Bist du die Meisterin von Mona?
Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim.
Lehrling einer Freundin? Könnte sie eine Freundin von Monas Meisterin sein?
Precisely. Call me N, a mage who wanders the world. At least, That's how my friends have suggested that I introduce myself.
Also, ich möchte dir ja nicht zu nahe treten, Hexe N. Aber die letzte Hexe, oder die letzte Frau, die sich selbst Hexe genannt hat, das war die aus Jormungand. Und die letzte Person, die sich N genannt hat, hat mir einen ziemlich harten Bosskampf in Pokémon Platin. Nee, Diamant habe ich zuerst gespielt. Nee, Moment. Ich bring das gerade durcheinander. Schwarz und Weiß war das. Genau, N war Schwarz und Weiß. Ja, so. Na gut, erlaube mir zu fragen, wird Fontaines Prophezeiung wahr?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
People call such things fate, and it is written in the stars. It cannot so easily be altered.
Da ist es wieder Schicksal. Gibt es wirklich keine Ausnahme? Beziehungsweise muss dieses Schicksal genau so erfüllt werden, wie wir es aus der Prophezeiung heraus verstehen?
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
Die T-Taste ist auch so gut wie leer.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
Hex N, ist das der Hinweis, den du uns hinterlassen wolltest? Die unerwartete Nachricht haben die gemischte Gefühle hinterlassen. Als auffällt, scheint jemand draußen zu sein.
I want to hear someone talking. Alright, coming.
Ah, du wirst immer fleißiger, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Ah, wie ist es dir in letzter Zeit ergangen, Mona?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That daredevil journalist? I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Eigentlich ist schon jemand vorbeigekommen. Noch eine kurze Sache über Prophezeiungen. Es gab einen griechischen Philosophen, oder einen Griechen, dem wurde gesagt, er würde ein Ende, sein Ende finden, indem ein Haus über ihn einstürzt oder auf ihn stürzt. Deshalb hat er sich nie getraut, in ein Haus hineinzugehen. Immer aus der Befürchtung heraus, er könnte darin umkommen. Gestorben ist er letztendlich, als ein Adler eine Schildkröte in den Fängen hatte, diese ihm aber entglitt und dann die Schildkröte ihn mit ihrem Panzer, also quasi ihrem Haus, auf den Kopf getroffen hat und die Wunde war tödlich. Die Prophezeiung ist, wurde, wurde erfüllt, aber nicht so, wie man es sich hätte gedacht hätte. Oder auch ein anderer Grieche, der wollte Persien angreifen also ein griechischer König, und dem wurde gesagt, wenn du Persien angreifst, wird ein großes Weltreich fallen. Ja, der König meinte, das wäre dann natürlich Persien, ist freudig in den Krieg gezogen, hat verloren und sein Reich wurde zerstört. Und schließlich zu einer persischen Provinz. Tja. Also, das ist immer so eine Sache mit Prophezeiungen. Naja, jedenfalls ist schon jemand vorbeigekommen.
Huh?
Eine gewisse Hexe N kam gestern zu Besuch.
Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
Ich glaube, sie ist gekommen, um uns eine Nachricht zu überbringen.
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so...
Naja, können ja mal...
Perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
Stimmt, ihre Worte müssten einen hilfreichen Hinweis enthalten, aber wann wird mir das nützen? War das die beste Antwort, die ich auf meine Frage bekommen konnte?
Are you two all right?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming, you know?
I see. I feel that same sense of desperation, too. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But even so, I still hope for, and believe in, miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful. Perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff...
Oh, I need to get going.
Ah, mach dir keinen Sorgen darüber, Mona. Ich danke dir.
It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Mm,
Paimon feels kinda moved by what Mona said. But also kinda sad, too. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go.
wenn
Let's
ich...
walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Ja. Wenn ich das gerade richtig im Kopf habe, dann kommt hier der Part am Dienstag schon raus. Dann ist da... Also wenn ihr den Part hier seht, dann ist das Gebet schon längst vorbei. Oder es endet in dieser... an diesem Tag. Ah, je. Oh, ich sehe aber gerade auf die Uhr und... wo ich gerade nochmal darüber gesprochen habe. Eigentlich fehlen mir noch 4 Urgesteine, aber ich will... Ich krieg sogar einen 4 Sterne. Drachenschreck. Komm. Ich habe sowieso nichts Besseres. Drei. Oh! Oh! Das darf doch nicht wahr sein. Ey! Ich meine, was soll ich sonst versuchen? Vor allem jetzt krieg ich sie garantiert. Komm. 3, Ja. Das ist... Wie viel Pech kann man denn haben? Es ist gerade noch frustrierender als mit Rough Slay. Ernsthaft. Ich will unbedingt ihre Axt haben. Es... Das könnte gut sein, dass ich jetzt die nächste Zeit einige echt lange Videos mache und ich überlege gerade echt, ob die nächsten paar Videos nicht die werden, um hier den Archonten-Auftrag zu machen. Genau, Acer Palmatum. Dafür muss ich... Könnte ich ja eigentlich dann schon mal aktivieren, komm. Nee, nicht annehmen, sonst meckert er die ganze Zeit. Dann der. Aber von denen dürfte alles frei sein. Okay. Aber dann 2 Videos in Überlänge, um Imperatrix und Prosa erster Akt und Arca Palmatum erster Akt durchzuspielen. Und dann dieses Zwischenkapitel. Oh je. Muss ich mir echt überlegen. Aber vor allem, selbst dann ist ja immer noch nicht sicher, dass ich die Teile überhaupt bekomme. Es ist ja auch noch so eine Sache. Ach Mann. Ich muss dann ja immer noch einen 5-Sterne-Teil bekommen.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper.
Oh,
What's going on?
vielleicht sind wir ja berühmt.
Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that.
Ja.
Did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades.
Oh
Here
je.
is Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead?
Oh, scheint tatsächlich der Fall zu sein.
Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
Oh je. Aber okay, nein, wir gehen da jetzt nicht hoch. Ist ja schon gut. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet Spaß daran. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Gruß, Zynas Fan.